Everybody's always asking for more Hypixel story times. Give us more Hypixel story times! I'm really not that interesting. And it's not like my time on the Hypixel staff team was some wacky sitcom where every day was a new silly adventure. A lot of days it was actually kinda boring, just sitting around waiting for reports to come in. But that being said, I do have one that I actually somehow forgot about until a while back, even though it's probably one of the most, if not the most, memorable moment for my years on the staff team. The time I accidentally banned a Hypixel admin. This may be a tad shorter than some of my other story times, perhaps why I held off on telling it for a while, because it is rather straightforward, but I hope you all still enjoy, and maybe this will hold you off for a while. So just under 7 years ago when I was a moderator on Hypixel, in the days before Watchdog was but a gleam in the admin's eyes, they were more reliant on No Cheat Plus to act as a roadblock to cheaters, which is still on the server today. Back in the day, the vibe on the staff team as a whole was much more friendly and not quite so stiff as it has been in recent years. And sometimes we would joke around with punishments and do silly things like mute each other for a minute or give each other a ban for a funny reason. So it was definitely possible for staff to issue punishments to each other. One day I was playing Blitz by myself on the map Winter, which is a fairly huge map, and I was unnicked at the time, so everyone else in the game could see me and my name with the mod tag, as I usually did since I'm kind of a weenie and my PvP skills are non-existent. Once the game started, I took off all the way to the other side of the map to raid chests and gather items away from everyone else while they duke it out in the middle. There were some early deaths that happened, which seemed to be normal, and I had no reason to think anything was off while I was on my own doing my own thing. But then I start getting messages from people reporting a hacker, which at first I assumed was for some other game. This was back when every staff member's messages were open to anyone and everyone. So we would just get random reports for everything all the time. And it still seemed like nothing was amiss until I start getting multiple reports simultaneously about the same person. And then someone specifically mentions that they're in the same game as me and everyone messaging me had died to the hacker. Some even saying that they were killed from halfway across the map. I figured they were just exaggerating since surely that can't be possible, right? However, being a player in the game myself, I can't immediately just start flying around and go spectate this person. If I join the game normally, I'm limited just like everybody else, so I just gotta turn on my recording software and wait. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait long because this hacker had eliminated literally everyone else in the game, so it was just them and me left heading into deathmatch. In the Winter map, if you aren't familiar, the deathmatch platform is suspended high into the air, so the timer ticks down and we're both teleported, but I don't see anyone. I'm alone on the platform looking around thinking, is this dude invisible somehow? Is that even possible? All the dead people are watching and messaging me going absolutely bananas, but then someone tells me to look up. And I see about 20 blocks up this person just flying in the air. He had no armor or seemingly a single item of any kind. And once the countdown begins to initiate the fight, he starts floating down slowly like a feather until the timer reaches 0 and PvP is enabled. I wish I could say I got at least a few good hits in, but I didn't even come close. I couldn't touch him, and even from many blocks away, I lost in seconds. It was unbelievable. I had never seen anything like this on the server. But I was happy to take the L because I had more than enough proof to ban this person. And even better, this was back before the EULA was in place, so non-donors got an immediate permanent ban for more egregious offenses. And this person had no rank, so they were going to get well and thoroughly smacked by the ban hammer. Once I had lost, I typed up the ban command so quick he was out of there before the game could even fully end and send everyone back to the lobby. Many players from that game had ended up in the same lobby as I did and were questioning about the fate of the hacker, and they were elated to learn he'd gotten banned. They were commending me for a job well done and saying how stupid this guy must have been to cheat so blatantly in a game with a moderator. And I was feeling really good until I saw I had a message waiting for me on Skype. Back in the day, I used Skype rather frequently when it was actually common to do so, and Hypixel staff also used it to communicate back then. And the message was from one of the main developers who is still with the network today. You all know I try to avoid using anyone's real name in most circumstances. Not that I believe this person did anything wrong at all or would face any sort of trouble or backlash, but just to respect them and their privacy. So I'm not going to refer to them by name. And their message, in all capital letters, "Allie, you just banned me!" I'm immediately panicking, not making the connection right away, thinking I've somehow gotten myself into some deep shit and I'm gonna get demoted, possibly even banned myself. I'm beyond confused, so they go on to explain that the hacker I had just banned from that Blitz game was them, under a different name. Turns out they had been testing a game without the anti-cheat. No Cheat Plus had been turned off, and they planned to give some coins or some kind of compensation to the other players for their trouble. And by coincidence and complete random happenstance, I ended up in the same game. And this was when Blitz was one of the most popular games on the entire server. There were so many other Blitz games going on simultaneously, and I could have joined any one of them. But we got into the same game, and I mistook them for any other average hacker. Fortunately, I didn't get in trouble, and we both just laughed it off, and they got unbanned. And it was extra awkward because this was our first real interaction with each other. Before, we were obviously aware of the other, but our paths never crossed, so there was no previous conversation up until that point, so it was an interesting day, to say the least. I hope since then, if the developers need to test anti-cheat related things, it's not in public games, even though I will admit it was kind of fun. Thank you everyone very much for watching. Extra special thank you to my producer tier patron Evan and my executive producers Doggizer Doha, Emily, Jordan, Tinixfan, and Zahilla. If you enjoyed this video, it would be very much appreciated if you could leave a like, and that lets me know you want to see more of this type of content. Subscribing would be extra wonderful, and leave a comment. Tell me if you've had any interesting run-ins with the Hypixel admins. I'm always telling my stories. I want to hear yours now. Also, if you had fun watching this background footage, I absolutely plan on making it into a separate video in the future. In no small part thanks to the skills of my friend Luke. It is always such a treat to hang out and game with him. I just adore him. He's such a gem and a magnificent person. And until next time, I will see you folks later. Bye!